Merritt with Insulin Nation. We are here at the American Association of Diabetes Educators in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm here with Manny Hernandez from the Diabetic Hands Foundation.
Diabetes Hands Foundation?
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you for joining us for 5 Spot.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I know you go to a lot of conferences. Is there anything that really stands out in the world of technology for you?
Big time. Here at the AADE, I think attendees, educators are being able to see a wide range of new options that are now available to patients. For example, on the pump side of things, there are some very interesting developments coming from the likes of Tandem. It's kind of like a pump that's a little more like an iPhone.
Yeah, we were there. Very cool product.
Very cool. Then there's a new pump that recently got approved by FDA that AccuCheck got out. It's a combo, so has a remote that controls the pump. Then I saw a disposable pump for people, typically people with type 2, but I guess anyone on insulin, that is a patch pump and has like minimal, you just dial the...
Is it like pre-filled and you just stick it on and you don't have to go through any of that other...
Pretty much. I mean, there's no controls. It's like a blind or dumb or however you want to call it, but like, so lower barrier to access, not much needed in the way of like being tech savvy for it. So that's exciting. In terms of meters, also, several new meters that have gotten approved in the past few months can be seen here. The Vario IQ from the folks at One Touch, it has like a light that lets you see when you're testing, which is like,
That's huge, like in the movie theater?
Big deal, yeah, exactly. Movie theater, in the middle of the night, you're going to test your child, you don't want to wake him or her up, so then there's a IBG Star from Sanofi, which plugs.
Love it.
Pretty cool. I mean, it plugs to your iPhone, and it's like a really tiny meter. Then there's the AccuCheck Nano, so a lot of new developments, and it's good as a patient to see this because it's more options, but also because it shows that to some degree, like FDA is getting products approved, which is a very important thing for us.
Right, that's huge. It feels like everyone is kind of waiting for their product to move forward for that approval.
Yeah. Having said that, there are some products that are already available overseas, and in some cases for 2, 3, 4 years.
Like Cellnovo, that product?
Cellnovo, like the Medtronic low glucose suspend, so there's a number of products that are out there that still are not available to patients here, and which would, I think, be a big help, being able to at least have the option, it's not...
No, I totally agree. Do you think that there's one product or a few products that should gain popularity? You think they might with the diabetic population?
Well, I would say, and I'm going to go on a slight limb here, that more than a product, I would say resources like this one, Diabetes Advocates, should become, almost like something that medical professionals should consider like putting in front of their patients the minute that they get diagnosed.
Right.
This program, and this is a shameless self-promotional thing.
It's okay.
Is a program of the Diabetes Hands Foundation where a number of individuals in small groups that have taken on a leadership role to help people with diabetes do better, are focused on connecting and enabling them so that they can, stop feeling alone, feel supported, and have access to that space where they can, really enrich their lives through the experience of connecting with others like themselves and help others in that same way. So it seems like there's that proverbial like three-legged stool that diabetes is supposed to be, like medicine, food, and exercise. Well, this is the fourth leg of the stool, the emotional support, and it's typically missing from the conversations that I would hope. Now, it uses technology because all the members of this program, there's more than 80 of them, are either bloggers or run online communities or publish electronically or write books as well. So there's technology involved in it, but it's about, enabling patients and connecting them with others. So
yeah, that's huge. Do you think that is the biggest change over your lifetime?
Absolutely, and it is something that I would say every single one of the people that are part of that program are passionate about, because at some point in their lives, when their lives were touched, having connected with another one like themselves, they realized that this was needed and that this was missing.
Right.
So the difference was that they decided to take the step and make it possible for others. So now it is a resource. We just need to let people, every single person touched by diabetes, know about it.
Right. I think it would actually work in the opposite direction too, and healthcare providers would realize that we are a diverse bunch of people.
Absolutely. And I'll go on as far as saying
that limb again.
That it is another limb.
Yeah.
I would say that when you put together a community of patients, the reality is that each and every one of us know better than no one else our body and how it reacts, how it responds to diabetes.
Right, and believe me, I wish my body responded like a textbook. I mean, I wish that every day.
So,
sorry to interrupt.
No, absolutely. I think the important element here is there is a clear opportunity for also having a two-way dialogue, and there are huge things that also the medical community can learn from this experience.
It's two ways.
And the perfect example of that is diagnosis of LADA. Typically a patient that comes to a doctor, and if they're an adult, they automatically many times get diagnosed as type 2.
Pigeonholed.
Yeah. I was one of those, and there's many.
I heard that, yeah.
So then you start a treatment that's obviously for the wrong condition, so it obviously doesn't work.
Right.
So unless there is the openness or the humility on the part of the doctor to admit that we may be dealing with something different, it could go on for years. It creates frustration on the part of the doctor, because maybe they're assuming that the patient is not being compliant.
Yes.
And it creates a huge frustration for the patient, because they feel guilty. What am I doing wrong?
Right. And also they're being dismissed. It's like, their reality is their reality.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens to me every day. With my doctor still. It's like anyway. I digress.
People go online and describe this kind of experience, and they can find, and they do find, other people who have been through a similar journey.
Yeah.
Maybe they can hear something like, you know what, when I got diagnosed, I went through that same experience. And eventually I was referred to an endocrinologist, and I got tested for C-peptide levels and antibodies, and what he found was that I had a form of type 1 diabetes, not type 2. I'm not saying that's what you have.
Were you glad? Did you feel vindicated, or were you like, oh, it's even worse than I thought? Or
I mean, I was very fortunate, because really my doctor and I worked closely and, as a team.
Right.
But
you are fortunate.
I was very fortunate. He got to the point where he said, I don't have any more ideas. I'm going to refer you to an endocrinologist.
Yeah.
But other patients don't have that same fortune. So, if you become informed, you can in turn inform your medical professional.
Right. That's huge.
It is. It is a big deal.
I agree. That's great. Now, what's the one food that you can't say no to?
One food that I can't say no to.
That's your personal question.
Yeah. I like chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like cannoli. That's my one food I can't say no to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of yours, by the way.
Okay. You know what? Cheesecake. The sugar-free cheesecake they have at Cheesecake Factory. It's
really? I'll have to try it. I think there's one of those nearby too. I think I got lost in the hood here.
Yeah. So did I. I mean, that's story of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for meeting with us and doing the interview.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate it.